I have to make a video to let you know that Brent Spiner did contact me, and we Skyped, and I'm going to let you know what he said. He said that Sandra has accumulated a harem, that's my sister, of sorts, consisting of the lesbian women she met back while she was in prison during the trials. She was making death threats, and after she knocked out our communication servers offline, informed us that she had sent her lesbian troop to rape and indoctrinate you during one of your walks. This is what Brent said. With no way to investigate or send in our troops, we thought you became a lesbian and had been taken away by the lesbian harem. We were informed that Sandra promised all of our clone wives that they would have us now that you had been defeated. That would be Laurie McBride and Camilla Alves. We were not able to see your YouTube videos. They had completely taken our systems offline. It was a terrorist attack. One of the most horrifying incidents was when she took over the television screens in the Oval Office at the White House, where we had all gathered. She played a video of her telling our Jesuit intended wives, that would be Laurie McBride and Camilla Alves, that they would all get us back and they would all be entitled to make more babies with us. They were cheering. It crushed all of our spirits. Laurie was so excited. She went and bought onesies, that's baby clothes, by the truckload, and started milking herself to make bottles for all the babies she intended to have with me. Sandra played a video of Camilla Alves coming to Laurie McBride's house wearing that cow suit she used to rape Matthew McConaughey with. And the two of them were cackling and squealing and milking each other with pumps. This was a pretty advanced attack. He wanted to know, were you harmed in any way? They said they had ambushed you in the park during your walk and forced you into a group orgy. And I told him that my walks have been fine, though I've noticed in the past couple days an increase in the number of people out for walks, but nobody has approached me in a threatening manner. And I reminded Brent that Jesus did promise to protect me on my walk, so he needs to remember that. Brent said, that's true. I remember that now. We didn't know what to think when Sandra was able to take over all of our systems like that. It seemed like a powerful move. I said, she must be teaming up with Zack Knight. And then they mentioned that Zack Knight was able to teleport into one of their meetings over the past few days, though Brent can't remember the exact date. Now, he said, I've been up for days and have been scrambling to fix this. And Zack said something to the effect of, wow, it looks like I'm not really the Antichrist after all. It's Gale. That seal of David is the mark of the beast. Then he vanished laughing. I sent Brent an email about using maybe robots that would go out and execute people that didn't have a seal on them, you know, because those would be Jesuits, because we could put seals on people who weren't Jesuits, though I'm not going to go with that idea. But Zack really is a Bible blockhead. Or I guess he thinks that everybody's a Bible blockhead if they believe that a woman could be the Antichrist. The Bible makes it plain that the Antichrist is going to be a man. So that's not going to work, Zack Knight. Anyways, Brent and I were discussing why my sister, you know, why they could believe that I would become a lesbian. And he said they wouldn't have willingly made you a lesbian. It would have been by psychologically scarring you through repeated rape. And Sandra's group has been doing a lot of research in this area, apparently. And I told Brent, nobody has touched me. And he said that they did have an attack on Church of Gail, and some of their civilians were killed. And they've been busy repairing everything and treating the wounded. It was a Jesuit attack, not directly from Sandra. And the Jesuits appeared to be taking advantage of the systems that she compromised. I asked when it happened. He said it was about 3 days ago. He thinks his head is foggy from lack of rest. I told him, I don't know how you can function. He said he hadn't slept at all for days, trying to fix the computer problems. I asked if Jesus showed up at all. He said he's been quiet. He usually is when big events like this happen. And I told him that I heard that half of Church of Gail was taken out. He said that that's accurate. And he said that sometimes if he tries to beg Jesus to help, when it's not time for him to help, he'll show up and shake his head and wag his finger like he's telling me not to do this. So I asked him if any of the guys on the marriage list died, and he said it doesn't appear, so we took inventory, and they're all present. Zack's been very busy brain to brain with me and telling me all sorts of things that's not true. And I just prayed and asked the Lord to help me not to believe any lies. And Brent said that was a good strategy. It sounds like you fought a battle just as difficult as ours over here. I said, perhaps, but more in the psychological realm. He said, you were thinking that you may have lost us, and we were thinking the same of you. I said, yeah, but I had peace because I knew Jesus promised that you and I would get married on earth. So I knew that if you died, Jesus would resurrect you, and perhaps you would come to earth through a heavenly army that would beat up the Jesuits. That's what I've been thinking lately. And that's why I created a YouTube video with victory music. And I told Brent that the music was in the link below the video. I asked him, am I still the Empress? And he said, yes, as long as you're still alive and are really you, which I don't doubt. He said, Sandra, my sister, was trying to take over the position. I said, how could she do that? She's eminently unqualified. He said, well, not when she's holding the whole country hostage. I said, she was holding the whole country hostage? How did she do that? He said she hacked into all of our computer systems and took over everything, including our surveillance systems, shields, internet access, satellite brain reads, basically everything. How does she get so much power? And why can't you capture her? We're not sure. We have her under arrest, though. Before I forget to mention, we nabbed her this morning. Our officers are trying to interrogate her now. Where is she? She's back in prison, not on Church of Gail this time, since we're still doing repairs, and we're still wary about our security systems in the meantime. The last I heard, we had a team trying to extract information from her. Didn't Barack Obama see my videos? He could have let you guys know I'm okay. Sandra blocked YouTube. I said, and I mentioned that, that I think that Camilla Alves and Lori McBride need to be executed for, getting my sister like this, because she's been collaborating with them. And Brent said that Matthew would like that. I said, how's he been doing? I heard he died. He said he was very depressed for a while, but your short story about the Oscars really energized him. I said, well, the Matthew clone has been busy. I've been checking the internet about him. Camilla made an appearance with the clone recently, and then Brent said, what happened? Well, apparently a clone of actress Sandra Bullock got voted as the hottest woman around, and a clone of Matthew and Keanu Reeves presented her with the award, and Camilla was out in the audience clapping. And I said it was an attempt by the Jesuits to make Matthew appear shallow and playboy-like. And then Brent thinks that my sister might have been behind that because my sister's name is Sandra. I thought, you know what, Brent? I think you may be right. She's trying to make herself appear like she's the sexiest woman alive. And he says, I said, when did Sandra do this to you guys? It was about 2 weeks ago now that Sandra had made the announcement that she had sent her group to assault you. I said, man, you haven't gotten any of my emails, have you? Because if you had, you'd know that my sister was full of baloney. I said, why'd you wait so long to contact me with such horrible fears? And he said, we weren't able to contact you because she'd taken over our computers, ensuring that we couldn't. We figured if she was able to do that, she must be able to do other things that we didn't believe she could do. I said, but you couldn't leave Church of Gail to use a computer on Earth, or was that too dangerous? He said, since we took over with you as Empress, we are now using the same servers and systems on Earth as we are in Church of Gail. So it's all connected. It makes communication and security much easier, but it was also compromised all at once. And I'll have a link underneath this video to show you the Sandra Bullock presentation that I was referring to. And Brent Spiner thinks it was an obnoxious photo of her being voted hottest woman alive, or something like that. He said, I just wonder if your sister Sandra was trying to say she was sexiest woman alive by nominating another celebrity with the name Sandra as a hint, which was right around when she was trying to take over as Empress and control all of your men. I told Brent, I believe you're right on. Okay, so I asked about Rule 13, whether she led the attack against Church of Gail. And he says, well, we assume by proxy since Rule 13 is with Zack Knight. I said, you didn't see her? He said, we haven't seen her specifically since she left with the Jesuits who were vacating Church of Gail after the treaty. Okay, so right now Brent said his priority is to secure Church of Gail, heal and protect the civilians that got hurt on Church of Gail, and some of them died, and get as much information from my sister where they're interrogating her to find out how she could become so powerful. I personally think Zack Knight has been working with her. And I said, make sure she doesn't escape. He said she's being held in isolation in a maximum security prison. And they solved the shield problem over Florida. That's no longer an issue. So anyways, folks, I just thought I needed to let you know what's going on. So that's the latest. And all of my men on my marriages, as far as we know, are alive, and we just weren't able to communicate with each other. So I was right in an earlier video when I stated that their computers were probably offline. I was right about that. So I just needed to let you all know this, okay? Because I know some of you out there were concerned. And pray for my men. And it appears that I'm still the Empress.